I don't even know what to say.
Candace Owens says she has spotted a detail that many people may have overlooked. Attention is now turning to a landscaper who was reportedly hired to pave over the area connected to Charlie Kirk's death. After questions surfaced about who paid for the work, some observers began wondering whether the cleanup was as routine as it first appeared. What was initially described as a standard process is now being debated by critics who believe there may be more to the story than people first realized.
Podcast, I have a We Are the They member, a good friend of mine, the man that did my Zen garden, but also the guy that was hired to pave over Charlie Kirk's murder scene. So we got a very fascinating human being, Mr. Dan Merrill. Dude, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Let's just kind of cover this Charlie Kirk stuff first.
Okay.
And then I want to kind of get into more of your story and some of the stuff like that. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on the podcast, it's just fascinating. That was probably one of the 3 or 4 most impactful moments of our lives as far as, a national event goes. And you got thrust right into the middle of it.
Yeah.
The biggest source of controversy is no longer just the shooting itself. It's everything that allegedly happened afterward. Why was the area cleaned up so quickly? Why do some critics question whether TPUSA linked funds were involved in the process? According to Owens, the conversation shifted almost immediately from mourning and public reaction to concerns about control of the location, control of the public narrative, and control over which questions received attention. Those claims remain heavily disputed, but they have sparked intense discussion.
So what exactly was your role? What happened? How did that all come about for you to be the person they called? I think, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, you haven't really told your story, but you've been getting a lot of death threats and people that think you're part of the conspiracy. And I just wanted to kind of really get into how that all happened for you.
Sure. Well, so interestingly enough, I came and met with you about your Zen garden. That was right when it happened. I was on my way back to my shop in Provo, and I saw 6 different precincts flying past me in the commuter lane.
And added another layer of mystery to an already controversial case. Now, attention is shifting to a landscaper who says he was contacted to work on the exact area connected to Charlie Kirk's death. And according to his account, the request came very quickly after the incident. That timing has sparked fresh debate online, with some people questioning who authorized the work and how the decision was made. As those discussions grew, Erika Kirk's name once again became part of the wider conversation surrounding the case. The landscaper, Dan Merrill, says he received an unexpected emergency call on a Sunday.
Fast forward, I'm at home with my family, and I get a call, and I don't answer my phones on Sunday. They left a message, and the gentleman said, hey, this is kind of weird, and he was kind of hemming and hawing on the phone.
This was 5 days later then?
Yes,
you said it was on Sunday? Okay.
Yeah, on Sunday. And he says, we've got a paver emergency. I'm like, the hell
when the hell's a paver emergency?
Exactly, right? I'm thinking, this guy's, what the hell?
At first, he believed it was a routine paving project, but he claims that changed when photos were sent to him, photos showing the scene where Charlie Kirk was killed. According to Merrill, he was told the area needed to be paved as soon as possible and completed by Monday, creating even more questions about the urgency behind the request. That detail alone sparked a wave of reactions online, with many people asking why there appeared to be such urgency surrounding changes to the area in the first place.
So anyways, I wasn't going to even respond because I don't typically do that, but I'm like, paver emergency. Part of my MO is I like to be useful, where I can be help, So I texted the guy, I said, look, I don't work on Sundays. My guys don't work on Sundays. I'm happy to call you on Monday. What's a paver emergency?
The timing quickly became a major topic of discussion, and speculation spread across social media as users tried to make sense of the situation. Questions grew even louder after Dan claimed that excavation work had already been completed before he arrived. According to his account, nearly 10 inches of dirt had reportedly been removed from the area. Online commentators began treating the cleanup as something more significant than ordinary maintenance work.
USA did a massive purge of employees a few days ago, or at the end of, I guess, last week, you could say. What did you hear about that purge?
I heard there were 30 to 40 people purged, that they were looking for the leak. They knew there are leaks out of TPUSA. They are terrified of these leaks because of what TPUSA has been up to. And rather than try to be an honest organization, it's just let's get rid of all the people we think might be disclosing that we're a dishonest organization.
Dan says he initially dismissed conspiracy theories and believed he was simply helping finish a project. However, he later stated that certain details began to seem unusual to him, especially after reviewing footage and hearing the growing public debate surrounding Charlie Kirk's death. Candace Owens became involved in the discussion because her focus was not limited to the cleanup itself. Instead, she pointed to the timing of events, the speed of several decisions, and what she viewed as a lack of public discussion around difficult questions.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
No, and I know you're going to keep saying that I understand. Like, I know that.
No, I know.
And I know there's probably no magic string of words that I could piece together to procure some type of answer. But I think on a surface level, like, I'm not going to walk out of here until I say my piece. Like, I mean, y'all know this. I just worked a series of 80, 90-hour weeks plus for AmFest.
Yeah, I think
I've had no direction or explanation since we've come back. Our CEO has been assassinated. I've done nothing but been backwards for this organization, and the point where I'm wondering if this is a prank.
Owens argued that these factors deserved closer attention, and those comments led some observers to examine Erika Kirk's public actions following Charlie Kirk's death more closely. For months, Owens has publicly questioned how certain decisions unfolded after the tragedy. Her comments have centered on public appearances, organizational changes, and leadership responsibilities that appeared to move forward quickly.
It's not a prank. I would never do that.
So I'm just trying to understand. And
No, I understand. It's time to...
so do I get to have a conversation with Dylan? Do I get to have a conversation with Justin or anybody? Or
Nope.
no? And there's no explanation as to why I'm going to let go.
Right now, we're leaving all...
You know, and you're going to keep saying a different direction, but I'm trying to understand how I've met multiple times with my...
We're going a different direction with the team, and I have to ask you to leave now.
You have to ask me to leave property?
Critics have argued that the transition seemed unusually fast, while others have said those actions may simply have reflected efforts to keep operations running during a difficult period. As the debate continued, older stories and past discussions began resurfacing online, adding even more attention to an already heavily discussed situation. One of the most talked about controversies involved leaked audio that allegedly referenced merchandise and branding discussions shortly after Charlie Kirk's death. Critics argued that the timing felt insensitive and raised questions about priorities during a period of public mourning. Others pushed back, saying that operational and business matters often continue even during difficult circumstances. Still, when those claims were discussed alongside allegations about the rapid cleanup of the scene, some...
Yes.
Due to what, Frank?
Because we're asking you to leave because you've been terminated and we're not.
But there's no explanation or documentation for this. I've never had one bad review from Dylan. I've never had one issue with the company. I've never done anything unethical. And so I'm sitting here understanding why my entire livelihood is being completely tossed out. I mean, I sat in this chair.
You're gonna do great things.
No, and I plan to.
I don't think your livelihood's being tossed out. I think you're very successful.
Well, my paycheck every other week is being tossed out, Frank, with absolutely no warning whatsoever.
I understand. At this time, that's time for you to do.
Observers felt the overall situation appeared increasingly unusual. Another debate emerged over a memorial display connected to AmFest. Critics claimed that a recreation of the tent associated with the tragedy was approved and presented to attendees. Supporters described it as a tribute meant to honor Charlie's legacy. However, others questioned the presentation, especially after reports that merchandise areas and photo opportunities were included as part of the overall setup, fueling even more public discussion and controversy. According to Candace Owens, this is the larger pattern that she believes people keep overlooking. She argues that whenever difficult questions start gaining momentum, public attention often shifts toward presentation, image, and how the story is being communicated. Supporters of that view say this is exactly why the paving controversy gained so much traction online.
It's time for me to go. Why? Like this is the treatment that Turning Point is offering now.
It's time to go.
Frank, this is crazy.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
I don't think you do. This feels very heartless. This feels without emotion.
I do understand where you're coming from.
This feels completely without emotion.
I understand where you're coming from.
To them, it was not just about the work itself. It was about the timing, the decisions surrounding it, and the questions that followed. By that point, the debate was no longer just about a section of concrete. It had become symbolic to many people following the story. Some online commentators began viewing the paved area as a representation of broader concerns about transparency and accountability. Whether those concerns were justified or not, the symbolism quickly became a major part of the public conversation. Dan Merrill later said that after posting a video explaining his perspective, he was met with immediate backlash. Some critics accused him of playing a role in removing or altering an important location, while others argued that he was simply carrying out work that had been authorized by others. As reactions intensified, Merrill found himself at the center of a controversy he says he never expected to be part of. Dan Merrill later said that revisiting the official explanations left him with additional questions about the case.
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September, and people are taking selfies with it.
I am not capable of whatever that. When I saw this, I realized I do not know enough words. I had to consult a thesaurus, and I still could not land upon the correct adjective to describe.
Among the points he discussed were public reports about the weapon involved and how certain details had been presented. He also questioned aspects of the timeline and circumstances surrounding the incident, raising issues that have been widely debated online. However, those observations reflect his personal views and have not been established as proof of wrongdoing. As a result, they remain part of an ongoing public discussion rather than confirmed facts. Whether people agree with those concerns or reject them entirely, Candace Owens continues to connect these debates to Erika Kirk's role in events that followed Charlie Kirk's death. Owens does not claim to have direct proof of misconduct, but she argues that Erika's name appears repeatedly in conversations about the aftermath. Those discussions have included memorial events, leadership changes, public messaging, cleanup decisions, legal developments, and disputes over which questions should receive public attention, keeping the controversy alive and drawing even more scrutiny. Critics who share Candace Owens' perspective argue that the public conversation has expanded far beyond grief and remembrance. They claim the focus has increasingly shifted toward questions about image, influence, and how events were handled in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's death.
How I felt when I saw that, to look at that and to realize that they made a conscious decision to allow that to happen. To what end?
Those arguments remain heavily debated, but they continue to attract attention online. Owens has also pointed to Erika Kirk's public image as part of that discussion. She has argued that the public persona many people recognize today may differ from earlier stages of Erika's life before her relationship with Charlie Kirk. As interest in the controversy grew, older materials reportedly began resurfacing online, including audition tapes, pageant appearances, reality television clips, and acting-related footage. Those clips quickly became talking points among critics who believed they provided additional context, while supporters argued they were unrelated to the issues being debated. The resurfaced clips reportedly showed Erika participating in entertainment, media, and social networking environments that some critics viewed as very different from the public image she later became known for. As those videos spread online, supporters and critics reached very different conclusions about what they meant.
Really handsome.
You look gorgeous. Are you fixing my... I got a little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there. Give them a cleavage? People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sells, babe.
Sells. That's me.
That's against our religion.
It's not. It's within the confines of marriage.
Some saw them as ordinary examples of someone exploring career opportunities, while others argued they revealed a side of her background that had received little public attention. One acting-related tape generated especially strong reactions. Critics claimed the footage showed Erika receiving coaching on communication skills, adaptability, and how to connect with different audiences. Some online commentators even referred to it as honeypot training, arguing that it demonstrated an ability to adjust her approach depending on the situation. However, those interpretations remain opinions rather than established facts, and others have dismissed the claims as speculation. Candace Owens has argued that the timing of these resurfaced materials is significant, particularly when viewed alongside debates about events that followed Charlie Kirk's death. Her audience often points to the combination of leadership changes, public attention, and newly discussed background information as reasons for continued scrutiny.
I think I always had that girly girl hidden within me. After being such a tomboy and experiencing that my whole life, it was like, oh, I can curl my hair, I can put on the mascara. I come from a great family that has very amazing genetics, so thanks, Mom and Dad.
Owens has also repeatedly suggested that the story surrounding Tyler Robinson may be more complex than many people realize, keeping another layer of controversy in the spotlight. Critics online began asking why Erika appeared willing to publicly support the official account of events, while, in their view, certain questions were still being debated. Those concerns fueled speculation across social media, with some commentators arguing that too much attention was being focused on a single individual instead of examining the broader circumstances surrounding the case. These claims remain unproven, but they gained traction among people already skeptical of the official narrative. As those theories spread, many online users started re-examining a long list of controversies connected to the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's death. Discussions once again turned to the cleanup timeline, reports of excavated dirt, leadership changes, memorial-related decisions, public messaging, and reactions from key figures. Some critics also questioned reports that Erika had expressed forgiveness toward Tyler relatively quickly, while others argued that personal responses to tragedy can vary widely from person to person. The result was a renewed wave of scrutiny that kept nearly every aspect of the story under intense public debate. Individually, many of these details have alternative explanations, and supporters of the people involved often point that out. However, critics argue that when the controversies are viewed together, they begin to see a larger pattern. In their view, the discussion is no longer about isolated incidents connected to a tragedy.
I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another.
Instead, they believe the sequence of events appears unusually organized, carefully managed, or strategically communicated. Those conclusions remain matters of opinion, but they continue to fuel intense debate online. Candace Owens has repeatedly emphasized one central argument throughout her commentary, that Erika Kirk may have played a significant role in shaping the public response after Charlie Kirk's death. Importantly, this is a claim and interpretation made by Owens and her supporters, not an established fact. The paving controversy became especially controversial because critics questioned the speed of the cleanup and whether organizational resources were involved. Rather than debating whether the work occurred, many online discussions focused on why decisions were made so quickly and whether the urgency was justified. The reaction online has been intense, with users sharing a wide range of opinions and theories. Some comments have been highly speculative, while others have focused on public messaging, memorial events, and the visibility of certain tributes. One critic questioned the scale of the public memorials, writing, "Why have this big ceremony and not just his family and closest friends? Why make his death a social media event?" Those kinds of reactions have helped keep the controversy in the spotlight and ensured that debate around the case continues to grow. One commenter wrote, "The paving over the crime scene was the biggest red flag to me of the entire Charlie Kirk assassination." Another claimed, "Never in history has a crime scene been legally covered up before any investigation was conducted." Comments like these spread widely online and helped intensify public debate around the case.
So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie. Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study?
However, such statements reflect the views of individual users and should not be treated as established facts. The larger question being raised by critics is who, if anyone, benefited from the public conversation, moving on before more questions could be explored. The speculation grew. Some commentators began connecting multiple controversies together, including the cleanup timeline, memorial events, leadership changes, branding decisions, and public messaging. They argue that these developments appear linked, while others strongly disagree and say the events have reasonable explanations when viewed individually. The controversy continues because people remain divided over whether they are looking at a series of unrelated decisions or a broader pattern that deserves closer scrutiny. The question that continues to divide people is whether these events were simply a series of independent decisions made during a chaotic and emotional time, or whether there was a larger strategy behind how the aftermath unfolded. Critics argue that the timing of the cleanup, the leadership transition, the memorial controversies, and the public messaging raises questions they believe deserve closer examination. Supporters, on the other hand,
I forgive him. On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Maintain that speculation has often gone far beyond the available facts, and that many of these claims rely on assumptions rather than evidence. What is clear is that the debate is far from over. Candace Owens' commentary has kept attention focused on details that many people say were overlooked, while critics and supporters continue clashing over what those details actually mean. Whether these controversies point to something significant or are simply being interpreted through different perspectives remains a subject of intense discussion online. What do you think about the questions being raised around the case and everything that happened afterward? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others so more people can join the conversation. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss the next update.